What's going on? It's Mike King, aka Big FiGGa here on FiGGa TV, 316 Records and Productions. Welcome to another episode of FiGGa TV 2013. Still holding the record Christ to the fullest. Today, man, I want to get into a little something. I'm not going to put the names out there because I'm not going to get in the midst of the controversy, but I happen to be scheming on Facebook earlier this week, and I saw something that kind of really caught my attention. A fellow minister of mine made a comment about something that two entertainers had going on, and basically the comment was that he couldn't believe that the entertainers were excited about the actions that they were doing, and saying that, basically saying it was wrong, and if they continue, they're going to be condemned for it. Another person that I know decided to make a comment back saying that that's the problem with Christians because they're being judgmental. So I guess today's topic, what I really want to address is understanding judgment and being judgmental. I have a full understanding of what it feels like to be judged. I've been judged a lot in my life for a lot of different things that I've done. And I do understand the difference between a person judging me and a person coming around and bringing something to my attention that I could be doing wrong. And it's a big difference. Some people may say it's a thin line, but it is a difference between the two. The Bible states that judge ye not, because he will be judged. And the whole saying of the Bible verse is, don't go looking at the dirt of somebody else's face before cleaning the dirt out your own face. At some point in time, we all are going to be judged by the actual judge of judges. Not a judge that's in the courtroom, not a judge that's on somebody's board at the church, but by the actual judge, the creator of all. The understanding that we fail to remember, and I think a lot of Christians even pull back at times, because even when I was looking at the comments as they kind of went back and forth, the minister that I know really didn't come back. He didn't really respond to what the other person said to him in a manner that I felt he should have. But he did make a key point. In one of his responses, he basically said, "I'm not judging. I'm just saying what's in the book." And here's something that we got to understand. The Bible, and I've said this numerous times before, whether you believe in God or not, I hope you all do, but I know it's non-believers out there. And, it's our job to reach those non-believers and those who are lost or have gone astray. But even if you are a non-believer, even if you despise God for whatever reason, the morals that are in between these covers, which this is the Bible, you can't dispute that it's not, good morals. It teaches you values, how to love one another, help one another, how to better yourself, how not to become engulfed in material things. I mean, just everything about the Bible. Even if you tried your best to subtract Jesus and God out of the Bible, or even if you subtracted the prophets and the people that it speaks about in the Bible, just the morals that you get out of the Bible are great standards for any person, whether you believe in God or not. But the point I'm trying to make is the Bible was written, basic instructions before leaving this earth. Bible. It's instructions, not requests, not maybe so, maybe not. It's instructions. The Bible tells us this is how we need to live. if we want to be a better person. This is how we need to live if we want to be able to succeed. This is how we need to handle our business and conduct our business if we want our business to reap full benefits. I mean, just whatever way you look at it, it's instructions. It's not requests. It's not saying, if you do this. No, it's saying if you live like this, if you follow these guidelines, this and this will happen. Even when bad things come along, if you follow these guidelines, you'll make it through this, and this, and that. Pretty simple. But what we must understand is there are some guidelines in the Bible that tells us, for the wages of sin or death. We all know we're all going to be born. We're all going to die at some point in time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe next year, maybe 20 years, 30 years from now. But who knows, what day we're going to clock out. But the fact is, certain things, for those who do believe in God, it's stated in the Bible that you will be judged for what you do. And we're given numerous of things in the Bible, things that we shouldn't do, certain ways we should conduct ourselves, and certain ways we shouldn't. I feel as Christians, we need to understand we're not supposed to have the attitude that I believe in God, I go to church, I'm better than you who doesn't go to church, or who doesn't believe in God, or hey, you going to hell because you doing this and this and this. It's a judging attitude. But it's also, on the other side of that, it's a let me warn you attitude. It's if you don't change, this is what it instructs will happen. This is the type of gambling you playing with. You gambling with your life. I'm not judging a person. I've done a few tracks. I think me and my brothers, the Prodigal Soldiers, the Dream Team, when we were rapping, we did a big track, You Can Burn That. And basically the whole song it was addressed to a lot of entertainers who are in mainstream entertainers, secular entertainers. And it's not that we were judging any of the entertainers that we were directing some of the things to, but it was, hey, I'm shooting this to the entertainer himself or those who follow these same type traits as an entertainer. Not that I'm judging you for what you're doing, because I can't say John Doe is going to hell. I'm not judging John Doe. But I can tell you if John Doe doesn't repent and doesn't change from what John Doe is doing now, he will be going to hell. That's not a judge. That's not a judge factor. And a lot of times we misunderstand that misconception. It's just like in real life. If you commit a crime, if I see you commit the crime or I know you committing the crime, then I know when you get caught, I know you're going to be punished for it. I'm not judging you ahead of time. You still have to go to your trial, because I'm not the actual judge who's going to stand before you and tell you you're guilty or not. But at the same time, I can sit there and tell you, hey man, if you don't change what you're doing, if you don't stop stealing, if you don't stop, selling dope, when you get caught, you're going to do time. That's not judging a person. That's simply saying the facts of it, of the law, state that if you get convicted of this crime, you're going to do this much time, or you're going to do this and this type of punishment. That's not judging a person. That's simply telling the person, hey, look, if you don't change, this is what it states will happen. So I think people really need to understand, for one, is don't take an attack by a person saying that, a person is going to be condemned for, whatever the case may be. A person may just be spitting facts. And at the same time, as Christians, we don't need to pump the brakes, so to speak, and be afraid to make a statement to somebody to let them know, hey man, you're doing wrong. And I think nowadays, in general, a lot of Christians have gotten to that point where they're afraid to make the comments or afraid to highlight where a person may be doing wrong. And it's not the attitude that, as a Christian, they feel better than that person, but it's an attitude of, I'm trying to help that person. People take, I guess, correction. Some people don't take it very well, and I mean, it's understandable where it may come from. And you gotta understand, where your place is, in a relationship with a person. That'll be something we'll talk about at another time. But as far as not being afraid to highlight, what the facts are. The Bible is facts, and if it's written in there that, if it was in the Bible that says if I go to sleep on the right side of the bed and wake up and put my slippers on in the morning, I'm end up going to hell. Or somebody tells me, Mike, you need to stop going to sleep on the right side of the bed and putting your slippers on because you're gonna go to hell. That person's not judging me. That person is telling me what the fact is, and I'm just using that as a broad example. But we have to understand that there's a difference between relaying a fact out of the book and looking down upon a person in judgment. I've never, looked down on anybody, and I have dealt with, some of the worst, that people would actually look at a person and be like, that person is nothing. And I didn't look down on them. I told somebody one time before, I've had conversations with actual killers, serial killers, that I've had some of the best conversations that I had with the most sanest of people. People do things, and I don't necessarily judge some people for what they do, because I don't want people to judge me for what I've done, and because it's not our job, but it is our job to help correct those who are walking the wrong way, to help bring back those who've gone astray, or to help bring insight to those who may be completely lost or completely blind, to a non-believer, but like I said, we all have to establish our relationship properly to understand what place we are, what needs to be said to who and how. I'm not gonna walk up to a person, who's in the worst mood of the day and tell them, man, you're the worst person in the world, but you can change if you believe in God. They're probably not gonna take it the way. It's the right way to address people, but at the same time, when you make statements, hey, this person doesn't correct this and this and this, they condemning themselves. It's true, it's facts. Don't take it the wrong way. That person trying to bring something to your attention, and I took it as the way the person who I read his comment, he was basically saying that as a broad statement, not just to the entertainers he was addressing, but also to the people who may be living a lifestyle. He even put himself out there. I used to do the same thing, but I'm glad I changed. I done slipped up and did this, and this before. So he wasn't judging the person. He was merely stating the fact, and we have to understand the difference between the facts that are in the books. Because, like I said, the Bible is basic instructions before leaving the service. Regardless of how you want to break it down, the Bible tells us different things within those covers that we do this and refuse to do this. This is going to happen. This is going to be the result. So merely relaying the results of the facts of the Bible is not judging the person. And we need to understand the difference between judging and merely relaying the facts. So, the next time somebody tries to correct you on something, go check the fact for yourself. I'm not just saying take everything somebody tells you. Check for yourself, but take heed to it. What I'm saying? Don't take it as a personal route. Don't take it as a insult or a degrading factor, or that the person is trying to judge you. It's not a nitpicking thing. And I think when we learn to stop looking at everything that somebody says is a nitpicking factor and try to pick out the positive of what they say. Everybody that says stuff may not be the correct thing to say, or It might not be said at the right time. It might not be said in the right way or use the right word. Trust me, I know. I say things a lot that I probably shouldn't say. I say things a lot that I probably could have said differently. But stuff is said to me that I don't always appreciate, but sometimes I have to go back and dissect the positive factors that was said. It might have been something real positive that was said to me that might have been said in a manner that I didn't like it. And then sometimes I gotta backtrack, rethink what was said, and then take the positive out of it. Everything you get in life is not going to be great. It's not going to be grand. It's not going to be enjoyable. It doesn't mean the person that sent it to you necessarily meant to be negative or meant to do harm. But sometimes we just have to backtrack and understand. Maybe that person wasn't judging me. Maybe that person wasn't trying to put me down. Maybe that person was really trying to help me. Let me go back and understand everything that they said and see, can I apply it? See, can I check into it? See if it's something that I do need to correct. So if you're a minister, if you're a Christian trying to put the word out there, don't hesitate on your moment, that opportunity that God gives you to put something out there to help correct somebody. A lot of times, for me, when I help correct others, I also correct myself. So I do myself benefit, and the same may be for you. As you correcting others, you may also help correct and encourage yourself into doing things better. And it works out both ways. It's two positives that came out of one. And if you're the person receiving the criticism or whatever you may be feeling may be negative or feel that it may be judgmental, just take a step back, because as long as you understand that God is the judge is only God can judge you in the end anyway, then you can sit back and take the time to understand, hey, that person might have said something being judgmental. That person might have been judging you. But let me see what they were judging me on. Maybe they are correct, maybe they could be wrong, but let me check it just to make sure I don't need to better myself, better my appearance or better the way I need to come back, so that person understands that either I'm not what they thought I was, or I'm correcting what they thought I need correcting on. It don't necessarily always have to put yourself down. So just understand, no matter what come at you from what angles, from who send it, you don't always necessarily have to take it as a negative or take it as an attack. And even if it is an attack, you still can take that attack to make yourself weak, to make yourself stronger. If somebody attacks America now and bombs us all on the East and West Coast, then all the army gonna do is tighten up the defenses on the East and West Coast. You make yourself stronger sometimes when your weaknesses are pointed out to you. So if somebody's being judgmental and pointing out a weakness that you may have, it may be a weakness that you was unaware of. So don't necessarily just take it as a put down. I'm not saying that, you have to ignore everything that somebody tells you, but don't always take everything negative. And if it is negative, even when something negative comes to you, see what you can take out positive. You'll be surprised the way God works wonders when you're down at your lowest point, because then you will see that even in your lowest point, you can still rise from that. Your strengths stand out. And a lot of times God will point out weaknesses to you and then allow you to make those weaknesses stronger. So whether you're being judged or somebody thinks you're being judgmental, understand your heart. In your heart, you were saying something to be corrective or highlight faults that something may be going on, to try to help correct others or correct those who may be at fault. Know what your heart is spitting out. If your heart is being judgmental, then refrain from that judgmental attitude and become the mentality and the heart of a helper, the heart of a teacher, the heart of a guide, the heart of a shepherd that's leading back the lost sheep out of the flock. If you want to receiving it, then before your heart decides to turn cold or turn black, backtrack. Take in what you're getting, filter it out, and then filter out what you can take out of that to make yourself a better person, or make whatever they sent to you negative, that you send it back positive. And then you'll be surprised at what a better person that makes you, and a lot of times what a better person that makes the person who said it, because they may see, well, wow, I made that person better, but you know, they get an understanding that maybe what they did wasn't correct either. So, you know, take heart at what you receive, take heart at what you give. And when your heart is in the right place, things will work out. You know, God is a creator of love, and He's the greatest love known to man. And there's a lot of power in love. It's a lot of power. You can do a lot of healing in love. Love can bring a lot of energy to a person. So before you decide to bring hate back, or decide to say something negative back to somebody, or before you decide to say something negative to somebody, period, then check your heart. You'd be surprised what encouraging words can do to a person. You know, words can kill and words can give life. So, you know, even when somebody tries to saying negative words to us or something that can kill us, you can still turn their negativity into positive. And you can also say some words that may seem, you know, aggressive or unkind to one person, trying to help correct that person and save that person. And that person, once that person dissects what you said, and they see that you said a lot in caring and not being judgmental and trying to help correct and guide that person, and you'll be surprised what those words can turn into. And a lot of times you just gotta understand, you gotta plant seeds. And seeds don't grow overnight, they don't grow in a few hours. But when you plant a seed, you'll be surprised when you come back and reap, as long as you take care of that harvest. You know, you reap what you sow. So, you know, but like I said, don't allow people to make you believe that you're being judgmental and you're trying to just pass the word, pass the facts. And like I said, if you are a person you feel like somebody's being judgmental, just check to see if it's a fact. Because like I said, the Bible is basic instructions before leaving this earth. And if it's in between the covers, then it's fact. It's not a person judging you, it's the facts that we got. But it's a new year. Like I said in a couple episodes back, it's a new year, a new day. Yesterday was yesterday. So let's swipe away yesterday, and you know, let's use that to build us better for tomorrow. Let's use today to build us better for tomorrow. We gotta get better by the day. We gotta be born again daily. You know, you gotta die to the flesh daily and be born in Christ daily. Be excited. Once again, it's your boy Mike King, aka Big FiGGa, FiGGa TV 2013, 316. Y'all check out the other episodes on there. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on email, whatever. Hit us up. Love y'all, appreciate y'all watching. I'm out.
I'm spitting the gospel, but they claim it's Satan. But God created everything, including the music. But Satan stole it, misused it, and abused it. It's rightfully ours to give God praise. You can uplift His name in a billion ways.